The documentary at least asked a really important question, like, what's our problem with gun homicide in this country?
Right.
And your moment, and I've seen the thing twice now, and it's your moment in that really resonated with me the most.
I appreciate it, and at the same time, it's kind of my criticism for the film, because people ask me what I think about it, and I of course like how I came across in it, but I think that a lot of it didn't really deliver. I think there was a lot of stuff in there that I wanted that movie to answer, and it didn't.
Yeah.
But, you know, ultimately, I like what the movie did, but I think as far as the actual subject matter and the answers that I became obsessed with, because I locked myself in an attic for 3 months and didn't want to talk to anybody because I was afraid I was going to get killed and stuff. So I wanted a lot of answers, and I didn't get them from it, but that's, you know, that's a different thing.
Yeah. America is in a very interesting place right now. And I'm sure you understand when I say interesting, it's interesting for some very awful reasons.
It's like when you're at an art gallery and you're like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
There's a couple of ways you can have the inflection on interesting to mean
it
sucks or it's,
yeah,
it's interesting.
We are definitely in interesting times.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're very aware of things that go on. What scares you about America right now?
The thing that just scares me, if anything, is how much more can the common man be manipulated? How much farther can the government go? You know, how longer is it till we get to George Orwell?
Yeah.
There's so many people that know it and talk about it, you know, however many people will watch your show and they know it and they agree with you, or people that watch Bill Maher, or people that, you know, that watched Bowling for Columbine, and you think, if all these people did something about it, why would we still be in the same position? So it's scary to know that the right wing has such a stronghold. If people really stopped and realized how much art and creative people move the world versus politics and religion, I mean, it's not even up for debate. An artist at least creates things, puts things into the world, whereas these other people are destroying things, taking things out of the world. I think that's always been the point of politics, is always to suppress that, because they're afraid of it, and they know that.
Sure. How important is painting for you now?
Recently, I haven't painted in a couple months because I've been singing.
Yeah.
But it's always been an outlet. Specifically, if I'm frustrated, instead of just, you know, pacing or watching the real world or something, I went and I paint.
Do you consider your art degenerate art? And when I speak of degenerate art, I'm talking about,
in the
you know,
traditional sense.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of when you know, come up with morality issues about what's good and what's evil and what's degenerate, what's acceptable. You know, I think degenerate art and a lot of, you know, the Dada era, they were doing it in the punk rock sense of, you know, that was the original punk rock.
Also at great risk. I mean, you know, people were
life risks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And those are some of my heroes, people like Otto Dix, and a lot of the writers of that time, like especially the Russian writers who are getting jailed. They're getting like gulagged and, you know, being disappeared.
And being a writer, if you want to be unique, you always have to say something that someone else isn't saying.
Right.
So I mean, that's kind of, I think just to even say you're a writer, you have to be controversial, or else you're not doing it. You're not doing anything. Yeah. But I always wanted to take it to the next step, where I felt like I was willing to risk my personal safety, my personal reputation, to stand behind what I say.
What do you hope to be your lasting significance?
I've always thought about that, and the easy answer was always, as long as I'm remembered. But I think that that's not really what I believe at the end of the day. I think that again, the way you said that a lot of your heroes are writers, you know, I think as a writer, whether I'm writing songs or I'm writing books or I'm even saying what I believe in a painting, you know, whatever, I just want to be thought of as someone who took the time and risked what they stand for, risked their lives, you know, to put that out into the world. Someone who, you know, ultimately was an artist, you know. I'd like to actually be able to, you know, I don't feel uncomfortable saying that, but I remember, you know, growing up, saying you're an artist, it sounds pretentious. But, you know, I think that now it's one of the only dignified things that you can call yourself. You know,
Well, I must say, I really look forward to this new album. And I've always admired you for the fact that you have zero compromise factor and you have a lot of imagination and you make me pay attention. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the next album in this movie will bring. So thanks for doing it, man.
cool, man.
And,
Thanks.
yeah.